Milaegers, we get a lot of requests for making bows. And of course we have a wonderful selection of ribbon here. And I would like to show you how to make a bow so that you are able to make it your own and enjoy it for the holidays. I think what we're trying to do nowadays is to make a bow that looks relaxed and not particularly pinched and floresty. And so it's a real easy project. And I'm going to show you a few first. And this is one that has 3 types of ribbon. And this is red-green combination, one of our most popular, with this wonderful fresh lime and a solid red and then a stripe. So we have 3 combinations. Another one that's very popular is a traditional red velvet. And then we've layered it with the wonderful deco mesh, which is airy and light and looks a little bit playful. And then, of course, the bridge piece, which is this wonderful bordered red velvet over the lacy silver. Another one that's a little bit more of a maybe a Ralph Lauren look is the black and red. It's very dramatic, and it has the red felt with the black deer, and then we've used the buffalo check plaid in the front. So that's another option for us, and I will now make one for you. So what you need first is, your ribbon, and in this case, this is my inspiration piece. And it has, so we have to take a look at the colors, and we have this wonderful glittered turquoise and silver snowflakes. So that tells me immediately what my other choices are. So I'm going to try to vary it in color and texture and size. So I'm also going to use this particular narrower turk, and then probably, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what shade of aqua or turquoise we have. So we have this wonderful metallic ribbon here that has, we could use the reverse side, but in this case I think this might be showier if this is on your front door. And I happen to have an aqua door, so I'm making this for me. And then we're going to layer up the back. Now, the reason we're using the silver in the back is because silver is what we call an advancing color, and so it will tend to bring the whole bow forward. So we're going to start with the smallest ribbon and whatever ribbon is going to be in the front. And we need to have some straight wire. It's an 18-inch wire. You could use paddle wire, but I always find this easier to work with because it's not rolled up and easy to grab. So, decide how long your streamer is. All of this ribbon is wired, so it will hold a little bend in it. And we never like to have the streamers completely straight. So we'll start with about a 16-inch little tail. And again, all the loops, if you can tie a shoe, you can do this. And so we're going to make a loop above our finger here, and then a matching one below it. That's the second loop, and the third loop. And I usually make this one a little larger. But again, it's supposed to look relaxed. It's not supposed to look regimented and contrived. And that's the style of today's decorating. So then I will take the snowflake ribbon next, and I'm still holding on to this and holding it very tight in the center. And we have a tail here, and I can scrunch it up a little bit later if I wish. And I'm going to repeat the 3 loops and make them a little larger so they show up. One down here, and you notice we are always working with the right side of the ribbon facing us. So here's the wrong side. So I'm going to gather this up this way so that I don't have a nasty side showing. And turn this again so the right side faces me. And there's my 3rd loop. And, if it doesn't look good in your hand, it's not going to look good when you tie it. So you got to make sure that as you're moving along that the bow still looks good. So now here's the tail, and I'm really going to want the tail over here, so I twist it back this way and it falls down exactly where I want it. And so I'm going to cut this so it's not hanging out while I'm working. And then I come back with my third layer, and you could just stop here if you wanted, but it's kind of fun to be over the top. It's not done till it's overdone maybe, so we're going to keep going. And this is what we call a receding color because it's darker, and so that's the reason that we'll be finishing up with a lighter color behind it, because otherwise when you are viewing this from the street, from maybe 40 feet from your front door, you may not see this so well. So we're going to be sure that we back it up. Whoops. One thing to note on the ribbon, like this happens to be $17.99. However, there are 50 yards on here. So most ribbon, in some places there's only 3 yards on a bolt. Milaeger's only has 10 yard and up bolts, but this is a very inexpensive ribbon. It's only 35 cents a yard, and it looks as though it might be expensive, but there's a whole lot of ribbon on here. So you want to be sure you check out the yardage before you determine either how many bolts you want. Now, this is our deco mesh, and that's a big hit this year. We're doing a lot of deco mesh wreaths, but the ribbon itself is, again, I'm going behind and with a still larger loop. You see how the textures are changing and the size and the color? So we'll do 3 of those. Back down below it. And if you wanted to do a few more, you could, because this is really the but I think this is good enough. It would be wonderful on a swag, but like I say, it has to look good in your hand, so do not wire this together if something looks wrong. So you got to play with it a little bit and make sure that the loops are where you want them. So this is the hard part, is holding on to all this ribbon. So now we'll cut this, and then, okay, now here's the wire, and we are going to draw it, and our thumb is holding all of this, you know, the half of the loops on this side, half of the loops on this side, so it's easy to see where this wire goes. So it's going over your hand and around the loops to the back, and here's the back, and I'm going to take one hand and pull it in this hand, and I'm going to wrap it around so I got some leverage and pull it very tight. And now that it's as tight as can be, I twist it on itself 3 times. 1, 2, 3. If you do it any more than that, sometimes you actually cut the wire on itself. So that's all you really need. So this is our bow, and a great addition to any wreath or swag on your front door. So be sure to come in and shop Milaeger's for all the wonderful combinations of ribbons. And if you need help, of course, we're willing to make the bows for you. But I think you'll be able to do this.